Uganda has the potential to become a food basket of the world. Indeed, food production can bring equitable growth in all regions of the country. But that can only happen if Ugandans embark on a comprehensive agrarian reform program that aims at radically increasing agricultural productivity to pave way for national industrialization. Food security is one of the current major global challenges. There is an unacceptable level of hunger and malnutrition worldwide. Unfortunately, in some areas of this country, Uganda, interest in agriculture is on the decline, yet the majority of the country's population directly depend on agriculture for survival and employment. And there is always government call to give a positive image and prove that it is part of the country's source of wealth. In 2006, the National Resistance Movement government pledged to the people of Uganda the vision of transforming Uganda from a poor peasant society into a modern industrial, united and prosperous one in a stable, peaceful environment. His Excellency Yoweri Museveni, President of Uganda, pronounced the vision of prosperity for all, Bonna Bagagawale. Since 1995, the President has been advising Ugandans to concentrate on homestead incomes, utilizing the good atmosphere created by the National Resistance Movement government. Ms Joan Kakwezire is the Senior Presidential Advisor, also head of the Poverty Alleviation Department of the State House.
Uganda, like any other developing country, is faced with increasing household poverty. Our rural areas are not productive, and yet the population is going up. In that light, His Excellency the President has been the biggest champion of transforming our agriculture from subsistence to market-led commercial agriculture, focusing on those crops that are on national, regional, and international demand. In that direction, he has, since 1986, been talking about transforming. In some parts of Uganda, especially where he has directly intervened, like in his own home area, agriculture is beginning to change. The department which I head in State House, under State House, is called Presidential Initiatives Against Hunger and Poverty, and was established by His Excellency the President in the year 2000. But since 2001, His Excellency challenged this department to come up with wealth-creating models that will contribute towards transforming agriculture. And we have been working steadily, generating advice to His Excellency, and indeed my department has designed 12 initiatives that are focusing on agriculture and focusing on increasing production in the sectors that we consider to have big markets.
On the eve of Uganda's 45th independence anniversary, the President of Uganda, Yoweri Museveni, officially launched Prosperity for All program under the theme Tackling Poverty at the Household Level, at a ceremony that was attended by, among others, at Hotel African in Kampala. Mr. Museveni assured Ugandans that now Uganda is able to fight a war against poverty since the funds for the program are now available.
In our manifesto, the National Resistance Movement pledged to the Ugandans to ensure that we lift the peasantry out of poverty. And we called this effort Bonna Bagagawale, Prosperity for All. I had concluded that it is possible to get rid of poverty in the homesteads in the rural areas of Uganda. Between 1989 and 1995, I worked on those peasants who live near me, and they agreed to change their way of life. And by 1995, I was convinced that you could change a whole area through new ideas, especially enterprise selection. Must select the enterprise that will use your small piece of land to give you maximum income return, so that your income is equal or greater than your expenditure.
The president told the gathering and the entire nation that 30 households per sub-county throughout the country would be chosen by the people to take on projects as their role models, so that the rest of the residents are able to learning by seeing.
The best way of teaching in our implementation, what should be done this time? We have said you select about 30 families per sub-county. The ones who can learn fast, and start with those, so that they become example to the others.
On the availability of markets for Uganda's produce, Mr. Museveni assured the people of Uganda that markets for such products like fish, vegetables and fruits, among others, are still big locally, regionally through COMESA, and internationally in the United States of America through the African Growth Act, AGOA arrangement, the European Union and China, tariff and quota free.
We have got markets for you, for your products. We've got the Uganda market is there, the regional markets are there. I hear you are taking things to Sudan. Sudan is a member of COMESA. So you can be able to sell your products in East Africa, East African Common Market, COMESA, AGOA, the Americans, the European Union, China. All these markets are there for you at zero tax and without restriction.
During his countrywide tour of his campaign to eradicate poverty from the people of Uganda, President Museveni has always raised his appeal to farmers to embrace government development programs like Prosperity for All. He emphasizes as the main target of the program.
The president, who was accompanied by Honorable First Lady, who is also Minister for Karamoja Affairs, Mrs. Janet Museveni, the area member of parliament, made the remarks yesterday while addressing residents of Chikoni Model Parish at Mutanoga Primary School grounds after assessing the progress made by farmers now practicing modern agriculture in the area. They visited the farms of Mrs. Plaxida Hamanya, Mr. Moses Mugisha, Mr. Mugume Iliasaf, and that of Mr. Koleb Tayewa, who, through modern farming in land holdings of less than 5 acres, are earning comfortable incomes annually. The farmers are the beneficiaries of the Presidential Initiative Against Hunger and Poverty program and are serving as role models for the residents of Chikoni village in Ntungamo district. President Museveni also commissioned Chikoni Model Village Circle and donated to the circle 30 million shillings. The president encouraged the people to identify profitable enterprises and ensure that the income generated is either equal or more than the expenditure. He urged farmers with vast pieces of land to grow more maize that will be processed and will mitigate high prices of poultry feeds. He promised to provide them with a maize mill, a poultry feeds processing machine, and also extend electricity from Ntungamo municipality to the area.
mbona hati ugumushwanye nacyo ura leta nyana ngo uza kuko kwa munana hati umwaka gwagenzere ukutandika no kwa mwene nyana burumaka gashari kigakwenda gukora kono yondo mwani tuje kwedize ebitu kandi uno ahora obuti ntukebitu 450 kikayona kora abe no yendenti yamati tuje kugikwereza orko ende nkoko ntuzumuhereza ninga shimbe cyo kuba baganisa nibagira ngo aba batunye nkoko bari batunye ente umuri amakagona gahikwe.
Mr. Museveni further warned the people of Ntungamo district against marrying many wives and unplanned children, citing the two as the main causes of poverty. The president also asked them to avoid the practice of fragmenting land to divide among children, but instead encourage them to divide shares of the income generated from the land. UBC TV, Harriet Nambi.
Following the recent drought that hit the country during the recent months, the Poverty Alleviation Department part of the State House has come out once again to give out farming inputs to farmers in the districts of Lwabenge, Channamukaka, Wakiso, Mukono, and Buyikwe in the central region to continue with the Poverty Alleviation Department part of the State House vision for all Ugandans. With the party's mission of transforming poor communities into self-sustaining entities through best practices of agriculture, market-led production, value addition, and to support science and technology innovations, the department also gave out certificates to already upgraded farmers who have turned out to be examples to other farmers who are now examples to others in the various districts where the program has been already established. Among the items given out to farmers include Frisian cows, banana suckers, coffee seedlings, pineapple suckers, cassava cuttings, goats, pigs, among others.
Ms Joan Kakwezire, Senior Presidential Advisor, also head of the Poverty Alleviation Department part of the State House, presided over the ceremony where she handed over these farm inputs and certificates to the farmers of Mwanyanjiri Model Village, where she is a lead farmer. She told the farmers who gathered at Mwanyanjiri Health Center that they were fortunate to have been selected and transformed into a model village under the Poverty Alleviation Department part of the State House through the Prosperity for All program, Bonaba Gagawale, the presidential initiative.
At Lwabenge, Channamukaka, and Nachesanja, Mrs. Kakwezire was delegated by Ms. Susan Nabona, who was happy to note that the people who joined the presidential initiative have improved greatly in food security, income generation with their projects like pineapple, vegetable and poultry farming, zero grazing, pigs and goat rearing, and home improvement. She appealed to those who have not joined President Museveni's initiative of Prosperity for All, or Bonaba Gagawale, to do so in order to fight hunger and poverty out of their homesteads.
With this good work, marketing does itself. So when you do quality work, the market has to look for you, not you to look for the market. So anybody who is engaging him or herself into any productive activity should make sure you put in your energy and produce something of quality so that the market looks for you.
James Magambo, reporting for UBC News. Good morning, Ugandans, especially the Uganda farming community. As most of you are aware that Uganda is able to rely on agriculture due to the country's soils and relatively its regular rainfall.
The agricultural sector is dominant in Uganda's economy, whereas this sector grew at an annual average rate of only 3.7% over in the 1990s, compared to the far more impressive growth of industrial service sectors. And the importance of agriculture in Uganda's economy outweighs all other sectors put together. The agricultural sector employs over 80% of the workforce that accounts for 90% of the export earnings and provided 45% of the growth of the domestic production at the end of the 1990s. It has contributed income generation for families in the rural areas. Under the Prosperity for All program, some families have entered a struggle to wipe out poverty at household level. Channamukaka in Masaka district is located in central region and relies entirely on agriculture. The people now grow pineapples as their main crop besides bananas, cassava, coffee, beans and maize. They also rear animals like cows, goats and pigs. Under the Poverty Alleviation Dept part of the State House program with their mission of transforming poor communities into self-sustaining entities through best practices of agriculture, market-led production, value addition, and to support science and technology, the people of Channamukaka have responded positively to this call.
We are now in Masaka, Channamukaka, Model Village, in Buyaga Parish. This is the home of Mrs. Nakakande Mary, one of the prominent farmers who was transformed by the president. This place was badly off, but the president, in his tours, made sure that this village is transformed through this lady. And as you see, she has been able to implement whatever she was trained to do. So you will see the rest of the things as we go on. The pineapples you see here are being sold to Kenyans. They come up to this village to look for the pineapples. And then they even end up taking them when they are not ready, because that's what they want. So imagine, with this good work, marketing does itself. So when you do quality work, the market has to look for you, not you to look for the market. So anybody who is engaging him or herself into any productive activity should make sure you put in your energy and produce something of quality so that the market looks for you, just like Madam Nakakande here.
Channamukaka in Masaka district in central region is another agricultural area which is turning to be an agricultural pineapple corridor, where farmers have embarked on serious pineapple farming both for local market and for the regional market. Mary Nakakande is not alone. At Chajungo village, there is Vesensio Kasekende who started his pineapple project at a small scale, and after realizing that he can benefit out of it, he's now another model farmer under Poverty Alleviation Dept part of the State House, who has extensively expanded his project. Kasekende, who started his project on his small plot, he has now leased 16 acres of land where he says he's expecting good returns.
Mr. Kasekende, Vicent's garden, he's doing intercropping. We have 16 acres of land for pineapples. And then we also have Irish potatoes in between the pineapples. And then beans.
Kasekende appreciates the assistance given by PAD, headed by Ms Joan Kakwezire, Presidential Advisor on Hunger and Poverty and Home Improvement. He's now able to educate his children in good schools, and he has been able to construct a modern, decent house. He commends His Excellency the President Yoweri Museveni for his vision of prosperity for all that was put in place.
Nga tukyali mu ggombolola nga tuli mu ggombolola ye Channamukaka mu muluka gwe Buyaga.
From his 16 leased acres of land, Kasekende has also planted 2,500 passion fruit seedlings on 1.5 acres, and from the 25,000 pineapple suckers he has put on this land, he expects to harvest pineapples worth 125 million Uganda shillings. Kaseken employs 8 people on his farm. This is a pineapple collection center for the Chanamukaka pineapple farmers. Right now, these loaded trucks are now loading pineapples ready to be taken to Kenya. Susan Nabona is here talking to these farmers.
Yeah, here we are now at the collection center, the pineapple collection center in Chanamukaka. And these are some of the pineapples that are being taken to Kenya. All the vehicles you see around here are waiting for pineapples from this model village. We take their pineapples to Kenya at a good price. Yes, the market looks for them.
Kayunga, Luwero and Kalangala are commonly known to be the pineapple producing districts in Uganda. But now, Chanamukaka in Masaka district has also come up with the same produce, which they can now also export to Uganda's neighboring and Kenya. James Magambo reporting for UBC TV. People of Mwanyanjiri, Wankoba Parish, Nakisonga, Mukono District have thanked President Yoweri Museveni for supporting them in the Prosperity for All Bonabaga Gawale campaign he launched under the theme, Tackling Poverty at Household Level. People of Mwanyanjiri who turned up in big numbers at Lukonge Primary School to celebrate the existence of Mwanyanjiri Poverty Alleviation Model Village for now 12 years appreciate the services the Poverty Alleviation Department gives to their community. Their chairperson, Mr. Kagwa Alneyo Chisawe, said that after the establishment of their model village in 2002, they were among the 23 so far now established model villages to benefit from this arrangement through the Poverty Alleviation Department of the State House, led by Ms Joan Kakwezire. Among the items given to them to eliminate hunger and poverty out of their homes included banana suckers, coffee seedlings, beans and maize seeds, pigs, goats, and zero grazing cows for milk, which they have utilized correctly, and now they are living a comfortable life, and at the same time sending their children to school. Ms Joan Kakwezire, head of the Poverty Alleviation Department part of the State House, thanked the Mwanyanjiri Pad Model Village members, where she is a lead farmer, for recognizing the services delivered to them to get out of hunger and poverty by the President through her office. Ms Kakwezire, who first toured around Pad Model Village, was impressed by the progress made by the members who are now the change agents of the Mwanyanjiri community and other people around them. She also said that under the directive of President Museveni, PAD makes model villages and demonstration farms around the country to fulfill his zeal to show the communities, especially the farmers, best agro practices of farming systems in order to get rid of hunger and poverty. On the same occasion, Ms Joan Kakwezire said that Poverty Alleviation Department is going to assist the Mwanyanjiri community in their Self-Help Health Center 2 project. They are now constructing with 1.5 million Uganda shillings. And herself, she also pledged 500,000 shillings to buy the iron sheets. James Magambo for UBC News.